First, we have the special chicken noodles.
For 15-year-old Demi, social media is more than just a hobby or a place for mindless scrolling.
I upload my daily routines on social media so that many viewers on Instagram, TikTok can see what I do.
Demi owns a food stall at a market in Sydney, Australia, where he posts videos online showing off his cooking skills and signature chicken noodle dish.
And the order is done. I do find customers coming in and they're like, oh, I've seen you on TikTok. Some people even get photos with me here and there, selfies. But I can feel the impact of social media with my business.
But growing his fan base will have to wait. Starting today, Australia's ban on social media for anyone under the age of 16 is now in effect. The law, the first of its kind in the world, means potentially 1 million accounts across nearly every major social media platform. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, X, and Snapchat are being deactivated. A shocking change for so many kids. The sweeping ban was first passed last year with bipartisan support.
Resolved in the affirmative.
It requires tech companies to take what they call reasonable steps to prevent kids from creating accounts or else face up to $32 million in fines. How the tech companies will do this has been the big unknown. The platforms may ask to verify a user's age with their bank account, a government photo ID, or by using what's called age inference technology, which estimates a user's age based on their other online activity. Tools that may also raise other privacy concerns. But supporters of the measure say the law will help protect young people from the negative developmental and mental effects of social media.
Things like unrealistic body image, for example, or exposure to bullying or predators online.
In Australia, Wayne Holsworth says his son died by suicide after a sextortion scam.
Anyone that says that this is not a good idea has not lived through my life.
As the ban went into effect, Australia's Prime Minister urging children to find other activities.
Start a new sport, learn a new instrument, or read that book that's been sitting there on your shelf.
But some teens are pushing back.
I think they should be removing the harmful content instead of just keeping it there and removing us.
Two 15-year-olds are now challenging the law in the country's highest court.
As a young Australian, we as a whole will have our constitutional right taken away from us, and we will also be invisible with this ban.
Some critics also say the ban may push kids to join unregulated apps that take them to darker corners of the internet. Elon Musk, who owns X, previously slamming the law, saying it seems like a backdoor way to control access to the internet by all Australians. According to a national study commissioned by the Australian government, 96% of children ages 10 to 15 were using social media, and 7 out of 10 had been exposed to harmful content and behavior. Australia's e-safety commissioner says she believes the country's law will serve as a template for other countries, and the European Union, which despite pushback from big tech, is now eyeing a similar ban.
I've always referred to this as the first domino, which is why they push back.
For Demi, he's now counting down the days until he turns 16.
For people that are still 12 years old, 13 years old, they're going to restart their whole journey again once they turn 16. I think that's a bit of a pain point.
A live experiment that the world is watching.
And Liz Kreutz joins us now in the studio. Okay, so clearly the entire country there thinks that this is harmful enough for this ban. But if there's one thing that kids are good at, and, you know, I'm guilty of this when I was a kid too, like ways around this. Yeah. I imagine there are a lot of creative ways already circulating that could circumvent this whole ban, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of the conversation. Just to point out, like 77% of Australians surveyed say that they support this. So there really is widespread support there. But you are seeing so many young people, ironically, go on Reddit before the ban even happened, chatting about, okay, how are we going to get around this? And they're coming up with all these different ways. One of the ones that I think is quite notable is some of them are talking about ordering face masks that resemble adults. They're like a mesh face mask for adults to be able to like use, you know, basically a selfie or whatever of that and use that to access the app. Some are saying maybe a VPN will work, so it would make your phone trick it into thinking that you're in a different country where there isn't the ban. Some are saying, can we just like request adults to help us out? Kind of like, hey, you set up an account for me. So they're all trying to get around it.
Kind of like kids would go to a liquor store and then try to get adults to buy. This is wild. Ripple effects here. Do you see this as like a domino in that woman's interview? She described Australia as potentially being the first, and then everybody else might follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, we are somewhat seeing that, actually. Starting January 1st, Malaysia is going to implement a similar ban. New Zealand is discussing it right now. Denmark is far along in discussing this, and you heard the EU has also proposed a similar idea. So we are seeing other countries follow suit. We have not seen that same discussion to that same extent here in the United States, but we are seeing some different changes with some of these social media apps putting in more restrictions for children and teens. Like Reddit recently did this to kind of prevent how many direct messages minors can have with adults on that app, in sort of anticipating, you know, a little bit more of this.
We'll see what happens next. Liz Kreutz, fascinating. Thank you so very much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.